Hey, you guys, let's talk about trauma. Everybody in the entire world has experienced trauma of some sort. Um, whether it's in a relationship, a marriage, dealing with family, on the job, in the church. Trauma is something that can affect your entire life if it's not dealt with properly. And I've come across a lot of people who do not know how to deal with trauma because they have not been taught, or may not have done the research on their own, or they may not have sought the face of God as to through prayer and fasting, as to how can I get past this trauma. Trauma will always, when I say always, come up. Always. Someone will always say something to you that you don't like. Somebody will always do something to you that you may not like. But how do you deal with the pain? How do you deal with the hurt? How do you deal with the offense? If it's not dealt with quickly, trauma will spread up like a virus inside of you. It will spread throughout you like a cancer if it's not dealt with properly. And a lot of people think that the easiest way to deal with trauma is through drugs, alcohol, sex. I don't know if I can say that on here now, but it's saying that. But anyhow, there's a right and wrong way on how we deal with things. But I like what Psalm 147:3 talks about, that God heals the broken and hearted and he binds up their wounds. But if you're not going to God as to, dealing with this pain, dealing with this hurt, dealing with these wounds, then we're pretty much taking it, stuffing it underneath a rug and thinking that it's supposed to go away on its own. And then we have times where as though we tell everybody we're okay, but we're not okay. It's okay to say you're not okay. Let God know you're not okay. Take counsel with people, that you trust, and just talk it out, hash it out. But if they're not giving you the solution as far as the word, then they're not really not helping you. If you're not getting counsel, then how are you dealing with this? You can't continue to let this be buried down inside of you. And, we live in a spiritual world. Even though we see one another, the body of one another, the face of one another. But the reality is we actually live in a spiritual world. Things have happened in the spirit realm, according to Genesis 1, where God spoke things into existence. How are you handling trauma? We got to get better at this. Trauma will always come up, but you got to know how to deal with it the right way. Prayer, fasting, getting counsel. The Holy Spirit is a counselor. But if you don't have a relationship with him,